Best of the quarterbacks on Saturday.
All three pretty much even.
And what do you like about, for starters, tape? What did he do well? What could he improve on from Saturday?
All of them played really slow. Really slow in the huddle, really slow at the line of scrimmage. Were too indecisive making decisions, all three of them, at times. And their pocket demeanor and pocket posture got them in problems at times. And when they played more decisive and when their feet were good, they played very well. So it was the same for all three of them. The defense totally dominated the offense the entire day, so it was hard to really get a huge evaluation of the three quarterbacks. One thing the three of them did do is they didn't turn the ball over, which was good. They took way too many sacks, but they didn't turn the ball over and throw it into trouble. And then I think Nkosi was the benefactor of having a couple big plays, of being in there and generating a couple big plays, which was good. One time he really negotiated the pocket well, and stepped up, slid, eyes downfield, hit a dig, and got a big play out of that. Was a benefactor of having some good eyes and some good feet at the end of the day. But to be quite honest with you, there wasn't a lot of offensive explosiveness at all in the day. As I mentioned, the defense was totally dominant. So it was hard to really evaluate those guys. But those types of situations are good for us to see because we're not out there with them. So they have to take the play call, they have to get the signal, they have to communicate in the huddle, they have to get guys lined up and all those types of things. So those type of experiences will be totally pay dividends at the end of the day for us, and we have to continue to put those guys in those situations.
And Dan, do you say I'm worried about the quarterback position because I haven't seen enough, or do you say I'm not because we have talent at the position and because I have a history of guys improving under me?
Yeah, I'm not worried. No, I don't think anybody's worried. It's the defense is in year 4 of their system. We're in week 4. I mean, there's a big difference. When you break the huddle of knowing what to do and where to go and how to do it, there's a huge. They got all sorts of blitzes in. They got 4 down fronts in, odd fronts in, corner blitzes in, safety blitzes in. I mean, we're seeing the gamut as far as an offense, and we're trying to learn a whole new offense. So that adds on to it. So no, not worried at all. The competition's good. Whoever wins the competition is going to benefit from being in the competition. When things are handed to guys, in my experience, sometimes they have a tendency to get complacent and don't push themselves as hard. So the competition for all three of them will ultimately make each one of them better players, and the cream rises to the top, so may the best man win.
How much more weight possibly can a scrimmage have on deciding who the starting quarterback will be like this Saturday's?
It'll have some weight. I can't speak for the head coach, but I'm certain that we're probably not going to name a starter after this scrimmage this Saturday. So obviously you can help yourself and you can hurt yourself, just like every time they come out here is a game. So today they will be evaluated very hard, and we'll put it with all the rest of the numbers. I think scrimmages, what I like to see on that is it's more obviously game-like, obviously, so you get to see a guy handle situations, 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, after an explosive play, after a sack, how do they respond, TFLs, those types of things. And I think we need to create, obviously, as many different situations as we can for them to continue to put them in those situations and see who responds. And Coach Diaz, I think, did a really good job of that Saturday. We changed the field on them. They were in some backed up situations. We were in some sudden change situations where we had the ball on the plus side. So they just got to keep learning and keep growing. They're all young guys.
Do you like the kitchen sink being thrown at you after a couple weeks of practice, installing a new system, or do you go down the hall this week and beg for a more controlled situation this week?
Nah, it makes everybody better. I mean, the defense has got to get better too. This isn't about us. This is about the team getting better. They got to get their stuff on tape, and they've got to evaluate it. And certainly going to see it the entire year. So obviously, it gets frustrating at times. It's humbling at times to go through it. But hopefully we can continue to learn from being put in those adverse situations and just responding and getting better from it.
Dan, you talked about the lack of explosiveness. Jeff Thomas is a player that is what he's known for. What have been your first impressions of him, watching him work and getting to know his skill set a little bit?
Well, good, but he didn't practice Saturday, but for only a few plays, and had to come out because he did something. So obviously he's been our most explosive player this spring. He's done a good job. He's fast. He's very fluid. He's very smooth. He's explosive. He's a natural ball catcher, and he's got to get a little more detail in his route running. has a tendency, because he's fast, that he beats guys sometimes and gets lazy at the top of his routes and doesn't define his routes like he should. But I think if he buys into Coach Stubblefield and the techniques and fundamentals of what he's teaching, he can make himself into a very elite player. He's got elite talent. And if he buys in and gets a work ethic that matches the ability, he has a chance to be as good as he wants to be.
Dan, you said you did something on Saturday. Was that injury related, or was that?
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't finish. I don't know. I think he did something. He practiced full today though, so he was good. He was all good today.
Oh, I was.
Have you had that?
Yeah, he
conversation?
was good. He was all good today. Yeah.
Have you had that conversation with him and told him what you think about how good he can be?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
These are conversations that we'll have at the end of spring, trying to get to know everyone and trying to see where they're at from a work ethic standpoint, from a detail standpoint, from an attitude standpoint. And I know Coach Stubblefield has, and we'll continue to work with him, because again, I think he's a guy. You look out here, the sky's the limit for that guy. I mean, he can be dynamic in the return game. He can change a game at wide receiver, throwing quick underneath passes, but then again, he can run by guys too. So we got to get some compliments to him. If we can get one or two receivers to compliment him, and then those tight ends come along, and we can run the ball, those will all be his best friend, because that'll obviously eliminate people trying to bracket him and do those types of things to him and create more one-on-one opportunities for him. So we'll get him to buy into all that and buy into the system as far as the more you can run the ball and the more you can utilize other people, the easier it's going to be for him at the end of the day.
And what's your assessment of the offensive line?
We've been very inconsistent in the offensive line. We've been shuffling guys in and out of there. We've had some injuries. We had to move Donaldson to center on Saturday. He hasn't played center all spring, but he did a tremendous job moving into center for us to allow us to scrimmage. But really, there's been no continuity, because we've just been trying to figure out who's a guard, who's a tackle, who's a starter, who's a two. You with me? So it's been hard that way. Especially again with the defense doing as much as they're doing, it's been very difficult to get continuity. But again, we'll benefit from all these things as we move forward. But we're just trying to figure out. We had a true freshman playing left tackle in the scrimmage Saturday, and he's battling and doing things in there. But as I told him, he should be getting ready for the senior prom right now. We got him out here blocking one of the best defenses in the country. So the Coach Barry's doing a tremendous job with these guys. He is a technician. He is a fundamental, detailed football coach. He's very, very disciplined. He's a great teacher, and he's very demanding. And these guys will all benefit from his tutelage. And I think at the end of the day,